Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Life and Happiness Podcast, the show that takes you on a journey of exploration. We'll discuss tried and true methods alongside the latest trends of how to best live your life to its fullest and happiest. From psychology to meditation, science to self-help books, the GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast will help you to discover what makes you happy and how you can live life being the best you possible.
Brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Alyssa Jo. Hello, everybody. How is it going today? I hope you're having a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Happy Thursday if you're listening to this on the day that it comes out. I guess we're close to the weekend, right? It's Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday, that means, which is just exciting because weekends mean that you usually get to sleep in. Well, I hope you get to sleep in. I am back with more information for you to live your life to the happiest and the fullest. Today's episode is really, I think everybody can relate to it. If you've ever felt down in your life, if you ever felt like you've fallen off track, or if something has happened that has made you feel sad or mad or angry or anything less than happy, and it made you shift the way that you're living your life, whether it's for a short time or a long period of time, this episode is for you, okay? So pretty much everybody, because life is full of ups and downs, always. And so, if you're ever feeling down, maybe you're feeling down right now, maybe something happened, or maybe you're just feeling down in the dumps in general, and you're getting really tired of it, and so you always try to pick yourself back up, you always try to get back on track, but you find yourself after a couple days or even a week, you just fall right back into that slump, or you just feel like you just cannot stay on track with your life. And this podcast is all about living your life to the happiest and the fullest. I want to help you create the life that you want to live. And by doing that, I want to make sure that we're talking about all of the raw and honest and the reality of life itself, and that's that we all fall off track sometimes, and that we can't always be reaching for our goals, and we can't always be, organized and tidy and in our best shape and in the best relationship with the best friends. Life doesn't always give us that, and that is normal, and it's okay to fall off track. I really don't think that falling off track or feeling down or feeling sad or mad or angry or anything like that is anything to be ashamed of, because seriously, everyone encounters challenging times in their lives, and I think we can all agree that you never know what life will throw at you. You have no idea what's coming for you. We have no idea what tomorrow is going to bring. It's hard to predict what's going to happen later today. Life can throw us curveballs at any given time, and I think it's so important to have the strength and have the coping mechanisms to make sure that we can pick ourselves back up and get back on track. It can be really, really hard to get back on track after, especially if it's been quite a long time that you feel like you've just not been yourself. Maybe it's because of mental illness. Maybe something happened to you. I don't know what it could be. It could be a breakup. It could be losing a job, losing somebody close to you, general financial struggles, health struggles, just the world right now. I know that this year, 2020, has definitely been a hard year on everybody. There's been so many things going on in our world that can really take a toll on a person. And so, maybe you're dealing with all of that, plus your own inner demons, or whatever the case is. It doesn't matter what it is that knocks you down. It just matters that you can get back up and you can get back on track. And it can be really discouraging when you try to get back on track and you feel like 2 days goes by, you feel like you're doing good, but then you just fall right back off, and you pick yourself back up again and you fall back, and you pick yourself back up again and you fall back, and it's really, really discouraging, and it's really hard to feel that way all the time. And I get it. It's hard to feel like, okay, I'm doing really well for a little while, and then you just get back off track. So today, what I want to talk about is getting back on track, staying on track, finding that strength within yourself to pick yourself back up and to keep moving. Because like I said, there will always be times when you feel like you were on top of the world, but there will always be times where you feel like you are down in the dumps. And that is just life. That is just what we have to accept. And that is okay. And we can learn how to handle those things. And it takes time. I know that there's so much that go into it. And, the one big piece of advice I feel like everybody always gives is that, like, time heals all. And it's the most annoying piece of advice when you're feeling low, right? If you're going through a breakup, you lose somebody, maybe you lost your job, you're having a hard time, and people always tell you time will heal all. Like, it just takes time. And it's so irritating because you can feel that pain in that moment right now, right? You feel that sadness or that anger or any kind of a negative emotion. And it's really hard to think that within time, you will feel better when you're feeling that kind of way in that moment. And I always get so frustrated, but it's true. I know we don't want to hear it, but time really does heal all, and time will help you get back on track. But what I'm going to be talking to you about today is some things that you can do to help yourself get back on track and to stay on track. And it's all about building those healthy habits in your life. It's about really finding the love for yourself and finding your reason why. And I'll jump into that later, but I'm really going to be going through just things that you can focus on to stay on track, to pick yourself back up, because you will never be defined by your low moments, but you will also never be defined by your high moments. I don't think those two things define a person. I think what really does define a person is their ability to pick themselves back up, even if you keep getting knocked down and knocked down and knocked down and knocked down over and over and over again. What matters the most is that you keep getting back up. And so, the quote, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down, but how many times you get up. It's cliche, but it is so true, because you never know when life is going to knock you down or when life's going to throw you a curveball and you fall off track. And you know what? Sometimes life doesn't even have to throw you a curveball. You don't have to have a big life event to make you fall off track. You might just, be dealing with some stuff or just fall off track because you're tired, you're exhausted, maybe you're burning yourself out. Like, there's so many reasons that we can fall off track in our lives, and there's so many reasons that, we need to be able to pick ourselves back up. So I think it's a very important subject, and I'm excited to talk about it today because I think everybody can relate to this. I think everybody will have those low moments, and I think 2020 has really been a year where we've experienced more low moments than usual, just because of what our world has been going through, right? There's been so many hardships this year, which I think add on to already life's curveballs, already those things. Because just because the world is chaos, that doesn't mean that that's the only problems going on in our lives. We still have our personal things to deal with. You still might be going through a breakup, or maybe you lost your job, maybe you lost somebody close to you, maybe you're having financial struggles. Like, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, you are able to pick yourself back up. And it's hard to deal with those problems while our world is also turning upside down, it seems like. So today's just going to be all about picking yourself back up, finding that strength, and being able to sustain it, because I talk a lot about, like, we got to be happy, we got to focus on our happiness and what makes us the happiest. But if we don't find that right kind of happiness within ourselves, it'll never be sustainable. And, you don't have to be happy 24/7. Like I've said multiple times, we have ups and we have downs, but when you find that, like, sustainable happiness, even in your low moments, you will have that spark inside of you that that feeling in your gut that happiness will come back, and that you'll be able to find that again, and you'll be able to pick yourself up and keep moving. So that's what today's episode is about. And the first thing that I want to talk about is resilience. I have an entire episode on building your resilience. This is something that is really, really important, I think. Resilience is the process of adapting well, basically, in the face of trauma, tragedy, like threats, or just significant sources of stress. Like, really things that just are hardships, and it's building that resilience to pick yourself back up. And how you approach those setbacks really determines, I think, the level of your happiness and the level of your emotional capacity and all these things, right? And so this is why it's so important to kind of possess a resilient mindset, because we have to be able to get back on track. We have to find that strength to pick ourselves back up. And the great thing about resilience is that it is a trait that can be learned. It can be cultivated with practice. It's just like your muscle memory. Like, you go to the gym every day, you're going to build that muscle if you keep working it and working it. So if you keep working on building your resilience, it will come natural to you. And then when you have a setback in life, when you do fall off track, it's going to be easier to pick yourself back up. So with that being said, it's time for a little bit of a break, but I don't want you to go anywhere, because today's episode is a really, really good one. I'm going to be talking about holding yourself accountable. I'm going to be talking about reframing, the negative experience that you're going through. I'm going to give you literal physical things that you can do for yourself, that I've done for myself, to help put myself back on track. And I think it is so beneficial, some of these things I'm going to be talking about. Physical things that you can do. It's not just building on your resilience and your self-compassion and your inner thoughts. There are physical things that you can implement into your life, those healthy habits that will help you be on track or get back on track and stay on track. So don't go anywhere. I have so much information to share with you. I will be right back. So I literally just checked my doorstep for about the 10th time today as I wait for my Linens and Hutch order. Linens and Hutch is a family-owned company. They specialize in everything for your bed products. And the coolest thing about this company is that their products are sourced from over 7 countries, from certified, clean, and ethical factories with extensive testing to ensure that your linen is going to last. They specialize in signature soft, double brush fabric. It's high-end, luxury, silky bamboo. I already have a hard time waking up in the morning. I cannot imagine what it's going to be like once I'm sleeping in Linens and Hutch. Since you are a GSMC Life and Happiness listener, head on over to linensandhutch.com/life, enter in the promo code GSMC Life, and you will be receiving 60% off site-wide. Go check it out. Don't miss this deal.
Are you tired of the same old news? Are you sick of the seemingly endless political spin and negativity? The GSMC America Still Beautiful podcast is a weekly news podcast covering all the top positive and uplifting news stories. We cover stories that will inspire, uplift, and remind you of the good in the world. Tune into the Golden State Media Concepts America Still Beautiful podcast to get all the great and positive news stories of today. Download the GSMC America Still Beautiful podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Welcome back to GSMC Life and Happiness podcast. In case you forgot, my name is Alyssa Jo. I am your host, and today we are talking about getting back on track. We are talking about picking ourselves back up, finding that strength, finding that inner happiness, and being able to carry on with our lives. We want to live every day to the fullest, and that is not always the easiest thing we can do. And we're going to have dip days, we're going to have down days, but we're also going to have positive, feel-good days. And we got to hold on to those highs, but we also have to appreciate those lows. And so building that resilience, having that personality trait or that quality is so important for when you do have setbacks, because if you have that resilience, it's going to be a lot easier to pick yourself back up and find yourself back on that right path. So the first thing is building your resilience. If you want more information on that, like I said, I do have an entire episode on building your resilience, so go check that out. But my next thing for you is building self-compassion. Self-compassion really acknowledges the reality that you are having an unhealthy moment, not an unhealthy life. So you're having a sad moment, a depressed moment, maybe a depressed, it could be a long period of time. It doesn't mean, I'm not saying it's right now in this moment and then it's done. Like, yes, it can happen. It could stay for weeks, months. It could stay for years. But having that self-compassion, having that realization that this is not forever, and that is so, so important. We have to treat ourselves with kindness. Kindness is something that goes so far in our world. And it's not just kindness to other people, but it's kindness to ourselves. And being kind to yourself, I think, is one of the hardest things that we can learn to do, because we are our worst critic. When somebody else makes you feel bad, say they're being your critic, right? That maybe they're coming down on you on something, and it's that kind of awful pain that those people are thinking about you, right? It's not a good feeling regardless. But people will show you kindness and compassion, especially the people that care about you. And you can find those people to uplift you for sure in your life, no matter what. But the thing with finding self-compassion within yourself and finding the kindness within yourself is a little bit more difficult, because you live in your own body. Like, you are you, and you really have to learn how to change your mindset and show yourself kindness. You can't just move on to the next person to show you more kindness, or call your best friend to show you some kindness. That doesn't always work all the time. You have to be able to look inwards and show yourself that kindness. And we will be our worst critic till the end of time. But if we are able to show ourselves kindness and show ourselves compassion, it makes all these hardships so much easier, and it makes your life so much happier. You will always have a choice what the next moment is going to be. You have the next choice to be kind to yourself, After you listen to this podcast, you have the moment to go out there and show yourself some compassion, show yourself some kindness, show yourself some self-love, like do some self-care. Like, you have that choice right now. And just like you made the choice to listen to today's episode because you want to live your life to the fullest and the happiest. I know that you do, because you wouldn't be listening to this if you didn't. So show yourself some kindness, show yourself some self-compassion, because that is going to really kind of have that clear thought in your head that this is only a moment, or this is only a phase in my life that I feel this way. This breakup isn't going to hurt me forever. I will move on. Or the loss of my job, it will not hurt me forever. I will find something that I am passionate about, and I will find something that makes me feel fulfilled again. It's just a setback. It doesn't have to be your reality. And showing yourself kindness and compassion, the coolest thing about this is that you get to create the life that you want to live. You get to decide what your next moment is. You get to decide how you want to treat yourself and what you want to do with every single day. I think that's the most beautiful thing about life, is that we get to wake up every single day and create our life. Like, we are the author to our own story, and it's so kind of overlooked. People always look to other people and look to the negative experiences that we have in life, and they let those things define them, but those things do not define you. So show yourself some self-compassion, some kindness, try to build your resilience. And now my next thing I want to talk to you about is reframing your interpretation of the negative experience that you're going through. And this is all about your inner dialogue, which I talk about so much, but reframing basically means that you're changing up the way that you think or that you talk to yourself about this stressful event that you're going through, whatever event made you fall off track. And instead of saying, I give up, I'm a failure, this is it, I'm never going to be happy again, you have to shift your internal narrative, and you have to say something like, this is only a setback. I will get through this because I am a strong person. This is only a moment in my life. I get to wake up tomorrow and do whatever I want with my life. and so you have to change the words in your head, those thoughts in your head, that inner voice that is telling you that this is it, that this is the end. You have to make sure that you, kind of take a different look at what's going on, and gaining perspective on something that has really, really hurt you is really difficult, especially when you're feeling so much pain in that moment. It's really difficult to find that different perspective. And just like I said, time heals all. It's really frustrating to hear that, because you don't want to wait. You just want to feel better right now. And you have to be able to get your head around the fact that it is okay to be sad right now. It is okay to feel your emotions. You just have to be able to let yourself feel those things for the time being, and then be able to pick yourself back up. So now we really need to shift our focus to, not the negative event that happened, not the thing that set us off track, but we have to now shift our focus to the things that are going to uplift us, those things that are going to help pick us back up. The one thing that I'm going to give you a few things that I love to physically do to help put myself back on track. I have many dip days, I have many low days, but I also have many high days, and I've really over the years found things that work for me. So I want to share some of these physical things with you, because I feel like we talk a lot about being kind to yourself and that inner dialogue and holding yourself accountable and building that resilience, and these are all things that really do take time. And those things are all very, very important. But if you're anything like me, you don't want time to heal all. You want to try to fix yourself right now, or fix your moment, or just uplift your mood right in this moment. And there are things that you can do right now to help get yourself back on track. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to write out a list of things that make me happy. Like just general things that make me happy. Like, for example, I love podcasting. I love doing this stuff. I love creating content. I love making videos. I love spending time with my family. I love the color yellow. I love eating chocolate. These are just things that make me happy, that I love. Like, eating chocolate makes me happy. The color yellow makes me happy. My room is decked out in sunflowers and yellow, because I walk into my room and it's like a burst of joy for me. So you write down the things that make you happy, and then you start to implement those things into your life. So for example, I love the color yellow. It just brightens my mood so much. And so I literally decorated my room in sunflowers, because that's my favorite flower, and yellow things all over the place. And my friends and family have learned this about me. So they get me gifts that are yellow and bright and fun. And I've set these things up in my room so that when I walk into it, I feel that joy, because that's something that makes me happy. If drawing makes you happy, do more drawing. If running makes you happy, do more running. If eating a tub of ice cream makes you happy, eat a tub of ice cream. You have to write down the things that just genuinely make you happy with no condition, just unconditional happiness. What makes you happy? And then once you have that list, you start to implement those things more into your life, like the color yellow. And I spend more time with my family right now, because I'm at home and I get to spend more time with them, and that's awesome. That makes me really happy. So find the things that make you happy and start doing them more. I know that sounds simple, but even just writing the list of things that make you happy, you're gonna find a smile on your face, I promise, because we forget to focus on the things that make you happy, and we focus on the things that are bothering us, because those things are very easily controlling compared to those happy thoughts, right? Those negative thoughts can really take over if we let them, but writing this happy list is such a good way to focus on what makes you happy. My next thing too is write a list of people that always bring you joy, or that always make you laugh. Make a list of those friends that make you laugh no matter what, or those people that are always bright and vibrant. I know you have some of those people in your life. We all have at least one person who is just a radiance of positivity. I have this one friend who She is the kindest, happiest person I've ever met, and I know if I'm ever down, I can call her, and I don't even have to, like, say anything. She's just making me laugh 30 seconds into the conversation. So she's always on the top of my list. If I'm feeling down, I give her a call, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? I don't have to tell her what's going on. She just makes me laugh regardless. So make a list of those people, and hold on to those people, and make sure that you're spending more time with those people. Call those people up. Go hang out with them. Go for a lunch with them, whatever it takes. Write that list and then make those people more a part of your life. Another thing that we can do physically is we can write out a list of our goals. And I talk a lot about making goals, and I know I'm talking a lot about making lists. Can't you tell I'm a big list maker? But writing your goals is something to look forward to. It's something to work on, especially if something has really got you down in the dumps. You can't find your purpose, your why. You're having a hard time waking up in the morning. Writing down your goals, writing down the things that you want to achieve in life can really bring you this sense of excitement and drive and focus again, because you realize, like, wow, I got so much to do and life is so short. I got to get my butt out of bed and I got to start working on the things that I want in life, because you want to live your life to the happiest and the fullest, and every day matters. Every day counts. Every moment that you spend focusing on your happiness and the things that do bring you inner joy, that is so important, and that will help uplift you. So write down your goals. Another thing that we can do right here, right now, is we can revamp our life. And by that, I mean, like, we can revamp our living space. Just move your furniture around. Our environments are so strongly associated to our emotions. Move your furniture around. I'm not even kidding. It sounds ridiculous, but give your room a new style. Give your house a new style. Move things around in your kitchen. It doesn't matter what it is. Revamp your living space. You can be living in the same house for 10 years, but once you move furniture around, or even if you want to get super crazy, paint a wall, like do some DIY home decor things. I don't care what it is. Revamp your living space, because if you design your environment for success, that is so crucial to your overall happiness. Our environment has so much to do with our overall happiness, more than you could ever imagine. So if you're feeling really down, move your bed, move your dresser, move your desk. I don't care what it is. Move your coffee machine in your kitchen. Get things in different places, because I promise you, you will start to feel better. It sounds silly, but seriously, it works. With that being said, too, purge the things that no longer serve you. Purge your clothes. Purge any of your belongings that no longer serve you. Declutter your living space. Get a new agenda or a day planner. I don't know if you're anything like me. I love my agenda. I love my day planner. I write it in every single day. And sometimes if I'm feeling really down, or I'm having a series of, maybe it's a couple months where I'm feeling kind of off or down and feeling quite off track, sometimes I just have to get a new day planner. That sounds really weird, but I think it's just like starting from fresh, starting from a brand new book. It's like you're just starting to plan your days from a different mindset, from like a complete, clean, fresh start. And a clean, fresh start is always going to help you feel like you're getting back on track. Maybe you're not on the same track, but you're still back on to the pathway of your life. And that's what's most important. So have a fresh start if you're able to have a fresh start. Okay, I am talking so much. It is time for another break, but don't go anywhere. I have so much more information to share with you. Stay tuned. I got lots more tips that you can do right here, right now, to get back on track with your life.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be, visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast. I am back. We're on the last stretch of today's episode. This subject, I feel like I'm rambling on so much. I hope that this is very helpful to you. These are just the things that I implement into my life. So there are a few more things that I want to talk about. The next thing I want to say is sticking to your schedule. I mentioned that we have to, sometimes it's good to have a fresh start with a new agenda or day planner. And when you set yourself a routine, especially if you are feeling depressed, you're feeling really low, it's so crucial to set yourself a routine, to give yourself a reason to get out of bed in the morning, whether that's just to take your dog for a walk and have a cup of coffee, or to get up and go to the gym, or anything like that. It doesn't matter what it is. Give yourself a reason to wake up every morning and plan your day out. You can plan relaxing time, like I get that, but set yourself a routine, because if you don't, you will find your days just kind of fizzling away on you, and we don't want that. We want to have a reason to get out of bed. So write your things that make you happy and then implement those into your daily routine, okay? And if that is a little bit overwhelming for you, I really like to do my to-do list. And with my to-do list, I do it on sticky notes, because I find that when I have a giant to-do list and I look at a piece of paper that I write down all the things I want to accomplish today or this week, whatever the case is, our brains are actually quite overwhelmed. Even if we're only looking at one line, say, or one thing that we have to do, our brains are still associating all the other things on that list, and it's quite overwhelming, and then it actually makes us less productive. So what I do is I write a single thing that I have to do on a single sticky note, okay? And then I write my entire list on single sticky notes, okay? And then I put them in the order that I want to prioritize them. So the first thing obviously on top, and then this way that when you're looking at your to-do list, it's a single sticky note and your brain is only focusing on that one task, and it is so much less daunting than looking at this giant to-do list, okay? So pull out a sticky notepad and write a single thing that you have to do, and then once you complete that, you can crumple it up, recycle it, whatever you want to do, and you move on to the next sticky note. And I promise you that to-do list is going to be a lot easier to accomplish. You're going to have a lot easier time getting out of bed to do that list. Your brain is just not going to feel so overwhelmed, because I know when you're feeling depressed, you're feeling low, you're going through a stressful event in life, having a to-do list can be very overwhelming, especially when you're just trying to work yourself back up to getting on track. So just sticky notes, sticky notes, sticky notes. That's a huge thing for me. Another thing that we can do is we can turn our focus to others. And something that you can do right here, right now, is you can send a really nice message to a friend. And you can just say, hi, I love you, I appreciate you, you're doing well in life, whatever. Like, send a nice message to somebody, because those nice text messages, it takes you 30 seconds, makes their day so much better. It gives them a little burst of joy. It also makes you feel better for giving that person a burst of joy. And sometimes it's really hard to not focus on yourself and focus on the negative things. So when we can turn our energy to doing good for somebody else or just doing good for the world, that can really help us get back on track, because sometimes we need a little bit of a break from thinking about ourselves. Maybe writing a list of the things that make you happy seems really overwhelming right now, and that's okay. Maybe you just need to turn your focus on to somebody else or something else. So try to do well for the world. Try to, maybe you go plan a cleanup at your local beach, or you send that nice text messages, or you pay for the person's coffee behind you in line. Things like that will uplift your spirits and also just turn that focus off of you, but still in a good, positive vibe. So that is also super, super beneficial. My next thing is trusting your gut. This is something that we can listen to right now I know it's hard to find that voice in your gut. I have a really hard time listening to my gut. I wear my heart on my sleeve and I listen to my heart a lot, which sometimes is good, sometimes is bad, and then sometimes I get really logical and I only listen to my head. But seriously, the most important messages that you will be receiving are from your gut. You have to trust your gut. You have to listen to it. You have to be connected to your body. And I think you really have to find, like, to listen to your gut and trust your gut, you have to find that voice within it. And to do that, I think we just need to be more connected to being in our body. So do something that makes you feel connected to your body. Maybe that's dancing, maybe that's meditation, maybe that's yoga, maybe that's a massage, maybe that's taking, a nice bubble bath and just really focusing on your body. Whatever the case is, do something that helps you focus on your body and trusting your gut. My next thing for you is taking risks and going outside of your comfort zone. I know this sounds kind of weird, like how is that going to help me get on track? But you know that I strongly believe all of our growth comes from outside of our comfort zones. And if we are able to take a risk, do something that we've never done before, you're going to get that adrenaline rush. You're going to get that excitement, and it may be scary, but it's going to bring you a different kind of joy. And that might be exactly what you need to get back on track, because maybe you are missing the joy in your life. You're missing that list of things that make you happy, and you're not finding things that make you happy anymore. And that happens. So a great way to find something that makes you happy is by doing something completely out of the ordinary that you would never really normally do. Or maybe it's on your bucket list or something like that. Maybe you want to jump out of an airplane. Maybe that's always been on your list, but you've always been too scared. Go do that one thing that scares you, or go push yourself so far out of your comfort zone, because you will be so surprised of the things that bring you joy. Fear is standing in your way from being happy. So if you can face your fears, you can go outside your comfort zone, I promise you it is going to do so much for your happiness. And then I just want to say that we have to try to find the silver lining. This is just as annoying as saying that time heals all, but everything in life happens for a reason. You're going through this stressful event for a reason. You're going through this breakup or this job loss or this financial or health struggle for a reason. And it might not be clear what that reason is right now, and you might not be able to find that reason for a very long time, but there is a reason. I promise you, there always is a reason for the things that happen in life, and sometimes we figure it out a week later, sometimes we figure it out 10 years later. There's no timeline on that, but you have to trust that there will be a silver lining, and if you can find that silver lining quicker than the universe shows it to you, that's even better. You have a reason for being. You have a reason for being alive. And when your why, your reason, your purpose is strong enough, then your how will fall into place and you will figure out a way to get yourself back on track. I promise you. And if you're having a hard time finding your why, finding your purpose, finding your reason, do these things that I've listed. Write out the things that make you happy. Write out your goals. Write a list of the people that bring you joy. Revamp your living space. Design your environment for your success. Schedule those self-care days. Schedule those times to just think about yourself, to connect with your body. Take risks. Go outside your comfort zone. Do something that you never would have expected to make you happy. Because I promise you that you will find that spark again. You will find that reason. You have a reason for being here. So don't give up on yourself. It does not matter that you got knocked down or that you fell off track. It really doesn't matter at all, because everybody does. And those moments in life aren't what defines you. You got to be able to find that strength in yourself and pick yourself back up, because life is really short. And you have to do everything you want to do while you're living this life. You have to live it to the fullest. You have to find the things that are going to make you the happiest and the fullest. So just because you feel like you fell off track or that you have been off track for a while now does not mean that you won't be able to get yourself back there. Try to implement these habits into your life. Try to find a new reason to be happy for yourself. Sometimes we just need a complete fresh start, okay? So the world is yours. this moment right here, right now, it's yours. You get to decide what you get to do with it. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you get to decide what you get to do with your life. And that is such a beautiful thing. So let's not take advantage of that. Live for right here, right now. Okay? Because you will pick yourself back up and you will get back on track. Well, that is all the information that I have for you today. I hope today's episode was motivating and uplifting, and I hope that you are finding your own reason to get back on track. So thank you so much for listening to GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Alyssa Jo. I have so much fun sharing all this information with you. I love being able to talk about the subjects that I am passionate about, and hopefully helping you create that life that you want to live and live it to the happiest and the fullest. So thank you so much for being here. I have new episodes out every single Monday and Thursday. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. Head over to our social media pages. I update those regularly. We have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Head over there, like and follow, subscribe, whatever you need to do, as well as do not forget to leave a 5-star review. I am so curious of your opinions on these episodes. I'm so curious if you were able to implement any of these habits into your life and what kind of difference it made you. So please, please, please leave a 5-star review. Let me know your opinions, your thoughts, what worked for you, what didn't. If you want to shoot me a message, I would love to chat. So thank you for being here. Stay positive. Stay happy, and remember, you will pick yourself back up. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Life and Happiness Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find the show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcasts on iTunes, Stitchers, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of our shows. From the GSMC Podcast Network, from sex and relationships to health and wellness, life and happiness, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Golden State Media Concepts Life and Happiness Podcast.